Hello! You're in for a treat.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays.
2 West.
6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
We got new hours because we're nerdish.
And we're in our 20s despite our looks, so we gotta do things in the evening time over the summer.
Correct, but not too late because, as Levi said, we're in our mid-20s.
Not our early 20s.
And not our late 20s, the mid-20s.
So, yes, we're the Goldilocks of 20s.
That's right, I shouldn't have laughed. I gotta keep it cool, because this is our intro rap, where we keep things cool.
We're very cool, so cool we might want a dance break.
Hey, thanks for watching our dance break.
Now, back to the really serious stuff.
Like Brady
And Levi.
and Brady too. We're the 3 members of the Nerdish crew.
That was perfect. We didn't plan that.
Not at all. We don't plan anything. If you couldn't tell by this rap. That was the one thing we rhymed,
That was the one thing.
which makes it a rap.
Yes, all raps have one rhyme.
We'll see you on 2 West.
Yes. 2 West
6, 7:30 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Keep watching, because it'll turn into us, but probably not wearing the wigs.
Yes, and we'll be much more responsive to whatever you have to say.
You could ask us questions right now. We will not answer them.
Also, we take no responsibility for anything we've done in this pre-recorded session.
Yes. Any lost items, Nerdish is not responsible.
Right, we don't have anything to do with it. We're very different people in the present than we are from when we're recording this video. You might say we are the pupae of Nerdish right now, and in the future we will be the moths.
The
Because moths are the
disgusting
most-
gray moths.
Yes, those gray moths that you hear, they're
Yeah.
like the bats of the flying community.
The wings are leathery. They're leathery wings.
Very leathery.
They're basically butterflies, but we hate them.
Yes.
They're the rodents of butterflies.
This is true.
Right?
Just like the ACT is the rodent of the SAT.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Can you believe it? What we're doing? This is outrageous.
The chicken. Not Koozie, what's up?
Are we sure that's from today?
That's
That's not from today.
it is. It's
Is
from
it?
6.
No.
Yeah, it's after Stream Elements.
But see, that's exactly the thing, because Stream Elements
No,
starts...
it's 1802.
Right, no, Stream Elements starts our stream, so anything after that must have been just now.
Oh, you did the thing where you start arguing my side, and then I don't have any recourse because it's so frustrating? Is it that type of thing you just
A
did?
little bit. Slaying
Hi,
Darth, not Koozie. We got the big 2 in the house.
That's what that means.
Mrs.
It's a
Chicken's
head and
excited.
it's a waving thing.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, he explained it to us before.
The question I put makes 0 sense.
I doubt it. This is very exciting.
Not Koozie, Koozie in
Let's
disguise. Okay, is it Minto? Are you Minto?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know that for sure?
No, do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Oh, so good. We're creating like monsters of each other.
Arya is buying
Hold on.
refreshments
They don't-
for a birthday party.
Oh, I hope I'm invited.
Arya's having a birthday party. She's buying refreshments. She intends to get an ice cream cake. Hopefully everybody's not
Are you
lactose
going to
intolerant.
remember what you're reading after this?
Yes. For $23 and some cupcakes for $2 each. Arya has a $45 budget but does not have to spend the entire amount. Which inequality best represents the number of cupcakes C that Arya can purchase?
Perturchus?
Purchase.
Ah!
It's when you're pretentiously purchasing something.
I'll have that.
And I won't have that because it looks ghastly.
That's exactly what you were saying. Oh,
Okay, so it's a $45 budget. Nice. So,
it's a sick budge.
Dude, do the problem.
it's a nice budge, dude. Okay, so we got a $45 budge. We have to be less than or equal to that, I assume. Now, she's going to buy cupcakes.
Wait. Not Koozie.
You just got it.
Like the problem or what we were saying? Because if so, we can just stop right
Yeah.
now.
It seems like my accent helped you. Actually, technically, it's a dialect. Accents are for when you speak another language as your first language, and then you come to a new language and you got an accent. Like you can have a Spanish accent, but there's no such thing as an English
want instead of
accent.
have.
It's technically an English dialect.
The problem. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Who does not want to spend the entire amount. I think that's what they mentioned. All right. Well, in that case,
Oh wow, this just happened. Thank you, Alan.
Levi
Alan, say hi. What's up?
and Brady want to know a fun random fact about dialects. I do. I'm not sure about Levi though. Levi, would you like to know?
I'm okay
that?
with Why not? I guess you can tell us.
Yeah. This better be fun and random and true, making it a fact. Yeah, he's cropping that.
Oh, cropping the crap out of it.
Levi's accent helped. That's funny. Your accent helped.
It's a dialect.
Yeah, it is a dialect.
Pilar.
They're minerals, Marie. They're minerals.
Pilar is a person, a salesperson
I
at
want
a
to
car
do it.
dealership.
Give me an accent. or a dialect.
Levi.
Levi.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Levi. My dad does my taxes. How about that? Give me a real dialect, man. Come on.
I'll give you the old Scottish one.
I can't do Scottish.
Irish?
I can try.
Irish accent.
Ireland.
Ireland.
Pilar. Off to a good start. Pilar is a salesperson.
An Australian pillow?
Yeah, that's a car
Pilar.
dealership. Each car at the dealership costs at least $15,000.
What are you saying?
For each car Pilar sells. This is not Irish.
No.
All right, Pilar is a salesperson at a car dealership. She's got to make her commission. She's got to hit her levels, otherwise she's out of there. It's sales. Get in the game, AutoZone, or get out. Each car at the dealership costs at least $15,000. For each car Pilar sells, she receives a commish of 6% of the amount by which the selling price exceeds $10,000. Pilar sells a car at a price of D dollars. Which of the following function gives her commission C of D in dollars on the sale? Now wait. Slayer Darth. Certain regions of America are believed to speak the form of English that was prevalent in Shakespeare's day. It's usually indicated by a rolling of the R. What regions and what are you referring to? Because...
Yes, the American Southern dialect, some of it, I think possibly the South Carolinian one is closer to Shakespearean English than is current day British English or American English.
That's interesting. And they know
Northern
that
American English.
because they know what words rhymed in his plays.
Oh no, because they have some old videos.
You're right, because they know what words rhymed. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is they have old videos.
No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Maybe they have cave drawings, but they don't have old videos. Get out of here. Get out of here. She makes 6% on the amount that it exceeds $10,000. So this function finds you the commission if you put in D, the price that she sold it at. All right? So let's imagine real quick. She sells a car for $20,000. All right? Her commission is only how much she exceeds that. Or it's built off of how much she exceeds the $10,000.
Is it 3, my lord?
No, it is not. We have to take away $10,000 to figure out how much it exceeds $10,000, which in this case is $10,000, which I don't like. So I'm going to change it to 25. She sells the car for $25K. They take away the $10K minimum, which means the exceeding $10,000 amount is $15,000, and she makes commission on that. So we'd have to take 6% of that to get her commission. All right. Now, let's think about what we just did. We had to first take away $10,000 from what she sold it for. Whatever that is, you multiply that by 0.06. A, B, C, and D all have the 0.06, but we have to have what's in parentheses be correct. So, A is correct, and we're done. B is, we're subtracting 15,000. all that tells us is the fact that cars are at least $15,000. It's not factored into her commission. The fact that she's selling something for at least $15,000. That's just a fact about the selling price of the cars on the lot, not how they calculate her commission. So anything with $15,000 is out. It's got to be the $10,000. That's the part that's actually important with her commission. Answer C, will give you a number that is negative. If she sells a car for $11,000, which is $1,000 more than $10,000, you're going to get negative $1,000, which means her commission would be them taking money away from her for doing a good job. And that is not truth, justice, the American way. We don't do that if you do well. We give you more quiche, so you could buy more quiche if you want that for breakfast. Anyway, that's Pilar. Whose question was that, Levi?
It was Alan's question.
Is Alan watching?
I don't know.
Alan!
Yeah, just do the next one. I got it. I can
Okay.
do the
Oh,
next
Alan's
Alan.
watching.
Yeah.
Alan's absolutely watching. All right, is Alan Slayer Darth or?
No.
Alan, who are you? Who are you and what have you done?
What's your story?
Tell me, Alan, what's your story? Where you come from and why you're Alan?
Okay, so we have a bucket. That bucket. This is a weird question, but I think it might be a little bit simpler than you thought, Alan, or think, and will think. Could be even simpler than that. So, a bucket contains 5 gallons of water. The water in the bucket weighs 42 pounds. Okay, so that doesn't mean the bucket can only hold 5 gallons. It means it can probably hold more than that because we add in some more in a sec. So it's just a bucket. You have some big container. You have. I'm not at all at my home PC where I saved on. Ah, shoot. Well, how are you gonna get it?
Not koozie. You got to figure this out.
Aren't you a robot in disguise? Aren't you your own home PC?
Nice.
Thanks, dude. Wait. What? No, never mind. That doesn't make sense. Okay. So we have a bucket contains 5 gallons of water. So we're gonna draw said bucket. Here's the bucket. It's that we have 5 gallons in here, and that weighs 42 pounds.
That's interesting.
Lovely. Now you have 1 gallon of diluted bleach. Fantastic. So it doesn't really matter that it's diluted. I don't think, because we're going to add in that bleach, and we're going to do that with the blue bleach thing. So we got a little bucket, and it has some bleach in it, and it's coming out. That's perfect, right? Seem a little perfect. So that's 1 gallon, and that we don't know how much it weighs, right? That's what we're going for. And that is going to be gallons, X pounds.
No, we figure out how many pounds.
Oh, we can find that immediately.
It tells you.
We just want the weight per gallon of the liquid. Okay. All right, so we've added this in, and now we have a total weight after that of... So the total weight is 50.52 pounds. Okay. What is the weight per gallon of the liquid in the bucket after the diluted bleach is added? So it's the weight per gallon of the whole thing. So we know how many gallons we have. We have 6 gallons now. We've added 1 gallon to 5 gallons. So we have the gallons total is 6. That should be pretty obvious. And then we know that the weight is 50.52 pounds. So this is actually, unless I'm missing something, Bird.
That's it.
This is much simpler than you might think as you read the question. You're thinking, okay, maybe it's it's a percentages question, like what is the percent by weight of the bleach or something like that. That's not what they're asking. They're just saying, what is the pounds per gallon? Well, how many pounds do you have? This is pounds. Let's do LBS total is 50.52. You have 6 gallons. So to find out how many gallons you have, it's going to be 50.52 divided by 6. That will be the pounds per gallon. You could also, I can show this with proportion. So we have 50.52 LBS over 6 gallons. Wouldn't it be 0.42?
8.42.
Is that the final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. 8.42, you said?
Yeah.
Bird says it's 8.42. 0.42 might. No, I don't know what 0.42 would be. It should be 8.42. Because 0.42 is, this seems to be, 6 times 8 is 48, so that's about the same. You got 8.42. Hi, Cabin Boy Cam. Hello. I'm glad you also got that. So then this would be X LBS over 1 gallon, right? That's what we're looking for. Pounds over gallons. How many pounds per gallon? And then you solve this and you get X.
I mean, just divide at this
Oh,
point.
that's what it was. Okay. Is that...
Oh.
Ooh.
Was it 0, you mean? Because the 8, yeah, exactly. The 8 is an 8. Ah,
Very
that's
good.
what happened.
I want...
Oh, you want to crop it?
Yeah.
All right, can I get the next one now?
Yeah.
Sick. Oh, you want me to be really aggressive?
Yeah.
All right, like the PR question.
Oh, I see.
I'm feeling aggressive.
You're looking aggressive.
I feel aggressive. That's why I probably look aggressive.
You smell aggressive.
What does that smell like? Victory?
Anger and victory, yeah.
Okay. Yo, make it big. Doesn't
Okay.
make the screen big. All right, guys. We call this
Susan.
angry math. Susan, not Jane, Susan invested a total of $5,000 in 2 different bank accounts and earned interest on both accounts. She earned 1.5% on account A and 4% interest on account B. She earned 3% interest on the total amount invested. Which equation can be used to determine the amount of money, X, that she invested in account A? All right? Obviously, the answer is C. You're done. It's that easy. I'm kidding. I just made that up. I don't know if it's C or not. All right. Let's figure this out. We're going to call... Thank you, Levi. You can go ahead and continue. Levi's labeling this wonderfully. Account A earns 1.5% interest. Account B earns 4% interest. So I'm going to use lowercase a and lowercase b to designate the amount of money she put into each account. She's going to take that $5,000. She's going to split it. We don't know how much she puts in one versus the other, but we know it's a total of $5,000. I'm not sure this is going to help, but this is just years of experience saying, let's start out with just giving ourselves a simple A plus B equals 5,000. All right? That's one thing we know to be true.
Okay, I found this on the web for Hey Siri is saying let's start out with just getting ourselves a simple A plus 3 equals 5,000.
I didn't
Check
say
it out.
I didn't say that. I don't know why it says that. I wonder where that came from. Anyway. So the amount of money that she's going to make based off of interest. Let's think about this for a sec. The amount of interest she's going to get off of the amount she put in account A is 1.5% of A. What does that look like? 0.015. Get your decimals straight, people. A plus 0.04 times B. This right here will give you the amount of interest she's going to make in total. Not how much she's going to have, just the interest that she makes. Okay? Now, she earned 3% interest on the total amount invested, which was $5,000. So we know how to calculate how much money she made in total. 3% of $5,000. Real quick, I'm going to look at these answers. Where do I see $5,000 with 3%? We got 5,000 in C and D, but we also have 5150. Interesting. That's probably going to have something to do with how much money she's going to have at the end. All right. It's a couple different ways to put this together. We're going to have to figure this out, which answer is going to match whatever we come up with, okay? So the amount of money that she has at the end of the year is going to be 3% interest of 5,000. If you want to take 3%, you multiply it by 0.03. You want to increase something by 3%, you multiply it by 1.03. 1% of 5,000 is going to be 53. That's 150. This gives you 5150. All right? That's how much money she makes at the end of the year, and that comes from the interest that she builds on both of these. Which equation can be used to determine the amount of money, X, that she invests in account A? So just like that, we realized they wanted us to use X as our variable. Pretty interesting here. I'm just going to do a quick little swap. That's X.
Oh, you're crossing your colors a lot.
That's X. Don't worry about it.
I'm not.
That's X right there.
You're my favorite bird.
Absolutely. Let's see what they did with each of these answers. So they're taking 15. They're taking 1.015 times X in A. What that's going to do is increase it by 1.5%. And that gives you the amount of money she has at the end of the day. I'll tell you what that does not have in it. The fact that 4% is also being taken. They just completely neglected account B in that. We don't want to do that. B, they're taking an average of the two interest rates and multiplying that by X, and that gives you 150. All right, now that's interesting here. Whatever amount of money she invests in account A is X. So they're multiplying the interest of A and B times the amount of money she put in account A. So that's not right either. You're only taking 1.5% of account A. The 4% has nothing to do with it. Let's see what we got for C. C, they're taking 1.5% of account A, which that's good, and they're adding that to 4% of 5,000 minus X, which would give us the amount that's left over for account B. And if you add those interests together, you get $150. I did say C. I didn't say it for any particular reason, but I'm pretty sure that that's right. Let's just make sure with D. They're taking 1.04 and they're just adding it. Okay, no, that is not how interest works. That is not how interest works. So the interest that she was able to accrue is 3% of 5,000, which ended up being 150. Okay, just the 150. So this equation right here, 0.015x plus 0.04b gives us 150. The only difference between this and what they have is they actually were able to use substitution by saying, oh, that b must be equal, in that case, to 5,000 minus x. And that's what they put in for here. Okay? I know this was aggressive, but I'm feeling aggressive right now. And I'm teaching math. We loves the substitution method. That's right, cabin boy Cam. We love it. I would eat that for breakfast if it was available. I guess you can
He
eat
loves the substitution method.
Hey, I love
Yes,
that.
we do.
Say that right into the mic.
No.
All right. Yeah, any questions on this?
Take substitution to murder.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
We have a
very good.
Jutman question
All right,
from.
we got a Jutman question?
Yeah.
No.
No, we do.
I
Is it
thought
here?
I killed
No.
the Jutman question. Master Wayne.
Master,
I thought I killed.
Okay. Wow, that is laudable.
Some
means
men,
large. in
some men
English.
just like to watch the world burn, Master Wayne. Levi, do it the mic. That's what Nakuzi says. Nakuzi wants some Smeagol in the mic.
Mr. Cruzy will come to murder.
Yay.
Yay. Okay.
What about
So this is in the
Georgie?
math section.
Floating.
24-ish. Okay, great.
Girl float.
So, we have this circle here. What they tell us up top is basically just that M is the center of the circle, and then R, U, and ST, M is on those lines, so they pass through. They're both diameters. That's what that means. And they want to see which of the following down there is not true. So I'm going to get rid of the circle because I drew it my dang self.
Keep the answers. Put the
I'm
answers
gonna
up
keep the
top.
answers.
Remember, they're asking which one is not true.
Yes.
Put it up in the corner.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Bert, dude, let me go past you to do the problem. You're in my way. So annoying.
Sorry, I'm feeling aggressive.
Yeah? Yeah.
Okay, so we want not true.
This is true, not.
Okay, that's what we want. So, RM, that's segment RM, is congruent to segment TM. So RM is right there, TM is right there. Yes, they are congruent. They are both radii. These are also radii for good measure. The second one, RS, segment RS is congruent to segment SM. Now, this is not arc RS. Arc RS would have to be written like this, and it's not. So this is going to be a segment. They make it very clear that it's a segment. So don't freak out. I think that's what you said underneath the post that you made, Jumpman. This is what you didn't like. It's going to be this segment right here. So we can actually prove or disprove this statement.
Cabin Boy Cam's freaking out.
Don't freak. I just said don't freak out.
Dude, sit down, take a chill pill, take a little nap,
Yep.
then wake up, the stream's over, get into a time machine, come back where you left off. You're going to see yourself going in for a nap. Don't kill yourself in trying to replace that person,
Right.
because that's usually how time travel works. Don't do that.
What
You're
else
going
is
to
there
create a
to-
loop. That's okay.
Yeah.
The loop will just keep going forever.
And then it's fixed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have here what seems to be at least an isosceles triangle. This is RMS. We've created that triangle by drawing in this line segment RS. So with that, we know that we have an isosceles triangle with a 40-degree angle here. This being 40 means that these two angles have to be 70
Hello, Sadar.
each.
Yes.
Because 70? Yep. 70. Sid, hi Sid. What's up? You do love isosceles triangles. That's what got you into college, right? I think Sid is riding an isosceles triangle to Sid's college of choice.
To uni?
Yeah,
Oh.
to uni.
He's,
Yeah.
he's going to uni on a unicycle.
On the unicycle.
Dude, keep talking.
Okay, so if this were 60 degrees, we have a different story because then we have an isosceles triangle.
Equilateral.
The base angles have to be 60 degree, or they have to be equivalent, and you have 60 degrees here, so they end up all being 60. So that isosceles triangle becomes an equilateral triangle, and then RS would be equivalent to SM. That's not the case here. We have a 40-degree angle, so these two angles are 70. So that means it's just isosceles, and this segment is not the same length as either of those. So A is true, so it's wrong. B is false, so it's correct. So B is the right answer.
We go through the other ones.
Now we'll go through the other ones.
Yeah.
Good question, Bert. Angle TUM measures 70 degrees. TUM measures 70 degrees.
We have a problem. TUM.
TUM is here. So it's that. This is 40 degrees here
Very good,
because
very
those are
good.
vertical angles. So yes, this would be 70 degrees because
Yep.
that has to be 70 degrees because of what we just talked about. Same thing over here. These are equilateral triangles. Sorry. Congruent triangles to each other. Okay. Answer choice D. We have TU is parallel to RS. Yes, they are. That's really cool. It's because we've proved now that these are 70-degree angles. And by the alternate interior angle converse, you know that because these alternate interior angles created by those two lines with the line RU going through them, that means because those are congruent, then you have parallel lines. So it's what you have with the alternate interior and the same side, like all those things, you can go the other direction. That's how we know that TU is parallel to RS. And then answer choice E, we have arc TXU. So TXU, so just this little arc here, this minor one, measures 40 degrees. Yes, it does. Central angles create arc lengths that are the same degree measure as them, as they. It doesn't really matter in that case. You could do either. So yes, this is also 40 degrees here.
All right, wait. Okay, so say that sentence again. I want to know why it's they.
So I don't know exactly what it was, but this is the same measure as, or central angles create arcs that are the same measure as they are.
It just sounds weird saying as they. It just
Yeah.
no one says that.
My mom does.
Does she really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, why is B the correct incorrect answer again?
Because we're being at, so RS is this line segment here. It's not the arc length here. It's the line segment that I drew in yellow. And we're being told that it is congruent to line segment SM. Well, it's not, because we've created an equilateral, an isosceles triangle here with 40 degrees. So these two sides will be congruent, but we know that these two sides are each 70.
Angles.
These two angles are both 70, so this side can't be the same as that side. If you have equivalent angles, then in a given triangle, great, those opposite sides will be equivalent. That's how you get isosceles triangles, but this is not an equilateral triangle. Does that clear it up? You can also go back. That was a bad explanation. That was a little bit all over the place when I did it again. Are you happy, Cabin Boy Cam, or are you freaking out again? How is the chill pill settling? Yes, I don't remember the question. What was the question? What did I ask?
The question is well, you asked. Oh, you asked both.
Dang it.
Is it making sense, or are you freaking out again? All right, wait. So
does it make sense, or are you freaking out? Blink twice if you're freaking out.
don't say yes. Just say okay or one more time, and we'll try to. We could probably break it down a little more.
You think? Okay. So the way for this side here and this side here to be congruent, wait, how do you know that the other angles were 70? Ah.
Here's why. If there are two sides on a triangle that are equivalent to each other, the angles that are opposite them also need to be equivalent to each other. That's why.
Yeah, so we had a 40-degree angle here. We've now turned it. There's a given 40-degree angle. We have that. So they have to add up to 180, so you have 140 degrees left to split evenly between these two angles, so they both have to be 70.
Remember, the two line segments that we know are both radiuses, so they have to be equivalent to each other. That's how we get that those two sides are congruent in the first place.
Yes, and because it's not equivalent, if it's an equilateral triangle, then all of the sides and all the sides are congruent. Because it's an isosceles triangle, two of the sides are congruent.
They're both radiuses. They tell us that M is the center.
Yes, M is the center, so you just have two radii. Or bradii. That might have been what they missed too.
Ah, you're asking when I'm... Oh. Woo. All right, we got a good okay from Not Koozie, but what about Cabin Boy Cam? Cabin Boy Cam, we leave no one behind. We want your stamp of approval saying that you understand before we continue.
Say, it makes sense, I know.
That is not true. Siddharth,
Sid.
you know better than that.
Sid's in college.
Very good. All right, Cabin Boy Cam, excellent.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, it would also be impossible for it to be equilateral because the total would be 160 degrees. Yeah, there you go. Sick. Or 120, you mean. Yes, you mean that. So I went to the math.
Questions for stream?
Yeah.
We've done everything now.
We can do another Alan question, or we can go up and do one of, the one before Kooz was Robot Dancer, I want to say. So we can do a robot question, and then go back to the last Alan question.
Got it.
Do you want to do this one?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it'd be fun.
In the equation, above k is a constant. If the equation has no... Oh, this is fun. Dang it.
In this world where everything's changing, at least we have k on our side. K never changes.
Because it's constant, just like our friendship, held together by...
Where is it? Here it is. Tide Bond Original Wood Glue. Because Levi and I have a tight bond. Also, just remember, it sands very easily.
And it's a short clamping time.
And water cleanup.
It gives you water cleanup.
Would you guys say that the online practice SAT tests are reliable study sources?
We normally ask you that. We're not sure, so we generally take a poll and then answer those types of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
it help?
Like a tent poll.
Yes.
Something like that.
We take tent polls from our students, and then
That's all we do.
Yes, they are. You talking about the
we
ones
do.
that are available on the College Board website, 1 through 8? Yeah, those are all official tests from years past.
So the first 4 are not they are officially created tests by the College Board. They were not officially proctored. 5 through
Ooh.
8 were proctored as soon as those were the first 4 proctored tests.
I didn't know that.
Well, you knew that as of now.
I didn't know that. I'm kind of reeling from that discovery.
Yeah.
I guess it was my discovery.
Do you have
any reading tips?
We have lots of reading tips.
Throw it on the queue.
We're gonna throw it on the queue.
Throw it on the queue.
We're gonna throw it on
Very
right on
good.
the queue.
Very good. We have an
Bye.
audience. Yeah. Yeah. Have fun, you two. Sorry, that has nothing to do with you guys. In the equation above, k is a constant. If the equation has no solutions, what is the value of k? Interesting. The equation has no solutions. No solutions at all. All right, well, first thing we see is we got 2 terms of x on both sides. So let's do a little bit of simplification. All right, there's a little bit of combining like terms we can do. We have 8 minus 1/2. I'm just going to make that easy for me. I'm going to say that's 7.5. I'm just going to go straight to decimals. 7.5x plus 4 is equal to, all right, this one here is a little trickier because 3/4 and k are not really, you have to keep them in terms of 3/4 and k. Even though they're like terms because they're both coefficients of x, I'm just going to group them in some parentheses here.
That's nice.
3/4 plus kx
I love
plus
it when
k.
you group like terms.
I know. That's why we're friends. Only. All right. The equation has no solutions. How is it possible for an equation to have no solutions? What does it even look like? Well, good question. If you graph a system of equations, which is 2 equations, on an xy coordinate plane. That's an x. This is the y.
And
Couple
this is
things.
the plane.
Couple things could happen. You can draw a little plane.
Yes.
Do it. Draw it. Just get it over with.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh, look at that rudder.
Yes.
This is the xy coordinate plane. I'm scared of the y-axis. Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, that helped a lot.
It's actually one of the 3 Axis powers during the Second World War.
Really?
Yeah.
The y-axis?
Yep.
The y-axis was on the side of the bad guys?
Yes.
Oh, y-axis, say it isn't so. What's that now? Levi's lying? You're a concept made up by humans and you weren't an actual player in World War II? Levi. Y told me the truth.
How do you know that's the truth? Y is an Axis power.
You're right.
Yeah.
Is that true, y-axis? Anyway, you got 2 equations. There's a couple things that can happen. Number 1,
Thank you.
they intercept each other at some point. They intersect. That is a solution. You have one solution to a system of equations. That could happen. Notice they have 2 different slopes. 2 different slopes, okay? So, one thing that could happen is that you have one solution. Here is another thing that could happen. You could have 0 solutions. How is it possible for 2 lines to never cross? Good question. If they are parallel. If 2 lines are parallel, there will be no solutions because they never intersect each other. Okay? Parallel lines have the same slope. That is the thing to remember. If you don't intersect, there's no solutions, it's because you're parallel. If you're parallel, you have the same slope. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? There's one last possibility, which is if 2 lines are actually the same line, if one is right on top of the other line, and I don't mean like above it, I mean literally you draw it right on top. So like, I'm not going to ruin this blue marker, but imagine that I just threw this thing, okay? They're the same line. Any point on one line is a point on the other. So technically you have infinite solutions.
What about 3, my lord?
3 is a solution. Are you happy?
Yes, my lord.
Very good. Go back to being a peasant.
Yes, my lord.
Very good. Don't you have straw to just kind of like wallow in?
Yes.
Very good.
Hello.
Anyway, yes, because lines go on forever in both directions, the solutions are also infinite. So here we have no solutions, which if you want to envision 2 lines that never cross, parallel lines, same slope, that is what you want to do. They have the same slope. What is that going to mean on this? Where is the slope in both of these equations? If you think about slope-intercept form, your slope, or your schlope, is the coefficient of x. So if both of these things have the same coefficient of x, we have two lines that are parallel, and thus never intersect, and thus have no solution. Here's the slope of that left-hand equation. Sorry, that expression. Here's the slope of the right-hand expression. If we set those two things equal to each other, we'll find what k value makes them have the same slope. Oh, I get it. Me and my crush have the same slope because we never touch. Oh, exactly. That's exactly right. That's why you guys never touch, is because you guys have the same slope.
Yeah.
Or you have a very imperceptibly different slope so that eventually you'll touch. It's just going to take a while. And let's hope it's that. Because there's going to be a lot of fun build-up in that story. Okay, so now I'm just going to set these things equal to each other. 7.5 must be equal to 3/4 plus k. I must subtract 3/4 from both sides, which is 0.75. I subtract 0.75. I get 6.75 is equal to k. That's it right there. 6.75 is equal to k. That would give us no solutions.
More importantly than this, the function that represents this plane is this. U times quantity of SH plus P plus Brady. And if you were to distribute this, we're going to distribute that U. Yeah, and we get an SUH plus UP plus Brady. And there we go. Now, the interesting thing is this technically isn't a function at all because it doesn't pass the vertical line test.
Hold on.
So,
Ushtup.
oh, I did my math wrong.
No, you really didn't. You can multiply in any order
Because
you want.
multiplication is
Commutative.
commutative, just like our business.
Yay!
It means it makes no money.
Oh, jeez.
Oh boy.
Levi, you kill me.
Cabin boy, we need some questions.
Cabin boy. Are you in a cabin right now? What? His name is Cabin Boy.
No,
Just wondering.
I know.
Not at the moment. Oh, sorry about that.
Cabins don't have computers, but
Oh, give me that.
can't watch
Give me a break.
Nerdish in a cabin.
Rural cabins with no hookup to no computers, the internet,
Oh, yeah?
Netflix. Yeah, but you can have a cabin. It has a different
Cabin
meaning.
has a different meaning?
Send something for tomorrow.
Yeah, you will. You can send something for tonight. Also.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to.
all days have a tomorrow, and all tomorrows have a yesterday.
What is today? But yesterday's tomorrow.
Yeah. That's what I was going for, but I really fell apart beforehand.
Mr. Krabs said that in SpongeBob.
Oh. No wonder I don't care.
Boom! I saw some practice tests on this website called For Tests. You can't go on that website. That's only for tests.
Yeah.
Only
Oh my gosh.
jeez.
I don't know if they're the same tests or what. Why is dark spelled with a K and not a C? Because you can't see in the dark. Nor can you K.
Very true. You can't K in the dark. Unless that's just going like, K! K!
You can't do that in the dark, though.
Nor can you do it in the light without losing friends.
At a certain point, you can.
That's sad. You hit the friendship floor at
Yes.
0.
Now, you can always lose a business partner.
Very true. But you can't lose
A
business? Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
You don't want to throw the business out with the proverbial business baby, you know? Right, Bird?
What happened to the bathwater?
The baby was in the business bag. Look, Bird, we need a baby on stream right now.
I might have access to a baby.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
My
How
cousin's-
long am I going to have to wait for this baby?
My
Is it going to
cousin-
be
my
like a
cousin's
solid
in New
9 months?
Jersey.
Oh, really?
Just had one.
Is your cousin a baby?
No, but my second cousin once removed is. Yes.
So my friend has a question. Could you make sure he's right? Probably. Let's see. Sid, is this going to be dumb, Sid? It's probably going to be dumb.
It might not be.
We'll find out if Sid's being dumb.
It's a video.
We can't watch that right now. I don't know
So,
this
so what
is.
are you doing, huh? What
What are you doing, Sid?
Can you just tell us what the question is?
You're acting like you don't need to study for these tests anymore, Sid.
And honestly,
You're acting like you already did them and watched us a great deal.
we see right through you, Sid. You're completely transparent. Completely.
Like a blade of grass that's transparent.
Yes, a clear
That's
blade
what
of
you're like.
grass. The legendary clear blade of grass.
Yeah.
Bro, I need to take my ACT. And there's...
All right, Sid.
Yeah, I did. We already did this one.
Wait.
I did this
we?
one. I aggressively did this one.
No.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did. Are you sure?
Yeah, Levi, I'm sure.
Okay.
Are you sure?
I'm unsure.
Guys, I've been with Levi for not most of the day. I take the SAT again on the 24th of August.
Oh yeah, no. Sid has it's for money, right, Sid? Or something like that.
For money? Don't tell me Sid's cheating.
No. I think it's about getting what's it called, right, Sid?
That's right.
Scholarships, right? Is it a scholarship thing, right, Sid? Sid, just tell us. It's fine.
Scholarship. I'm gonna get a scholarship.
That's what Sid sounds like.
I'm Sid. I'm gonna get a scholarship.
It's like Michael Scott doing some accent.
Oh, jeez.
How many liters of an 11% ammonia solution must be added to 4 liters of a 32% ammonia solution to obtain a 25% ammonia solution? Okay, so we have 2 variables here. You'll get a good grade, don't worry. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Okay. You struggle no longer, cabin boy. Just exit that cabin, and outside there's an incredible urbanized world.
Bear.
There's a big bear.
A big urbanized bear.
It's a very urban bear. Yes, it's very urban. It pays rent, gets a little help from his parents.
Yep. Goes to the public library.
Goes to the public library because everybody needs a library card. We're gonna do this question now. So, this is a very. Do you have any tips for the math without calculator part?
Oh,
I
we
got a
haven't talked
100
about
on the
reading
calc
tips.
part, but completely bombed the no calc section. That's very interesting. Why did you do that? First, you have to ask yourself the question, why did I do that? And then tell us, and then we'll help you out with that. Do you know why it was? You like a calculator, dude? Okay, this is a very uncommon question type, but when you get them, they're all pretty similar. So, the way these are set up is you have a percentage solution, which means it's 11% ammonia, the other 89% is water, okay? So, the way you set these up is you have a certain amount of this solution, so that's going to be X liters. X liters. Then we have 4 liters of this 32% solution. So it gives us the rest of that, so that's great. We have 4 liters of 32%. There is a setup for this. I also need tips for the no calculator part. Great, we will talk about that after reading tips. Time ran out and I didn't understand some. Okay, what was the missing understanding? Because, I mean, there are no... I mean, there's stuff on the calculator section that's not in the no calculator section, but I can't think of anything that's only on the no calc, Bird. It's not on the calc. So it might have just been... It was probably more time and discomfort with doing arithmetic, maybe? Okay, so we'll do no calc after those reading tips. Okay, so the way these are set up is you're going to do your percentage as a decimal times the amount plus percentage times amount equals I'm going to write these as total percentage times total amount. That is how these salinity questions, dilution solution questions are set up pretty much every single time. So our variable is x. So how are we going to write this out? We know the percentage. It's going to be 11%. So as a decimal, it's going to be 0.11. We're going to multiply that by x, right? And then we add the percentage, which is 32,
So 0.32 times 4 for the amount. And now the total percentage we know is 25%. It tells us at the end over there. So we have 0.25. And then we multiply that by the total amount. Here's the thing you have to be careful of here. X plus 4. Because the total amount will be the sum of these two addition amounts, right? So you put the x and the 4 together because that's how many liters you have. And now we solve for x. So we get 0.11x plus whatever this is, which is 128. So 1.28 equals, let's just multiply by 4 on this side. That'll be easier. And then we have x plus 4. So let me know if you're confused. I'm just solving this. You can solve this however you want. Then you get 0.44x plus whatever this is. It would be 5 and then another 3. So 5.12 equals x plus 4. Let's subtract this from that side, subtract this from that side. We get 1.12 equals 0.56x. So if we divide both of these by 0.56, it ends up being very nice, and we get x equals 2
Oh, that's very nice.
liters. So you have 2 liters of that initial solution. Let me know, Robot Dancer, who's not here right now in the live stream, if you have any questions on this. Very good. Let's erase this and do some reading tips. Okay, so reading tips is a very big thing. Basically, you've just asked, okay, what do I need help with on the reading section? And I can help you more if you tell me what your problem areas are. Is it time? Is it you hate particular passages and you're just terrible on those every single time? Is it the 2-part questions? Is it the vocab and context?
Is this SAT or ACT?
And is this SAT or ACT? That's also important. Extremely. Can you go over interests too? Oh yeah, like math interest, compound interest stuff? Is that what you mean? Just tell me. It's okay. I won't, I don't mind.
They're just asking you for what you're interested in.
Oh. History passages. Oasages. Got it. SAT. Okay. Is anybody here for the ACT reading? Is that what you were talking about, Kevin Boy, or no? Oh no, this was not Kuzi. You wanted this, right? Yeah, math interests. Okay. All right. So SAT reading, history passages, specifically. Okay. So what about the history passages is hard? Is it that is it the historical passages or the history passages explaining some historical stuff? Is it when Abraham Lincoln writes something and it's really hard to understand, or is it the one where it talks or is it the type of history where it's talking about like these are the events that happened here?
The first one.
Are you sure?
That's gotta be.
It's gotta be?
Yeah.
It is hot. We got interest. The first one. Okay. So these are, it takes a level, the wording is weird and it's boring. LMAO. Yes.
Elmo.
Yeah, thanks, Bird. I know, no, I don't have to. Okay, I'm going to pull up an SAT.
While he's doing that, here's one. Leave that passage until the end. Hard questions, skip them, leave until the end. Hard passages, skip them immediately, leave them till the end. If you do a hard passage, it's going to take you a while, and you're also not going to feel great about it. So then if you do it in the middle of the reading section and you go on, you're going to feel bad about the rest of it because you already, did not do well on this one. So in order to, number 1, protect your ego, and number 2, make the most of your time, leave that till the end, because on the off chance that you run out of time, which happens, you want to have spent your time the most wisely on the questions that will take you the least amount of time. So that is, I would say, the very first thing. That'll make the reading section go a little smoother for you. What if all the passages are hard?
Do them all last.
Yeah. Levi's got a point. Well, I think the historical passage is uniquely difficult because it is hard to understand. Levi's going to talk about it.
Give her a water bottle. Okay, I'm going to pull up this whole page. Very good. And, oh, so very good. Bam. Okay. All right, so this one down here. This is a history passage. What if all the passages are hard? We already answered that. Okay, sorry. So, number one, leave it for last. That's helpful. Do it last. Number two, use everything that you can that's not actually reading the passage to help you. This is actually immensely helpful sometimes. Not all the time, but it can really help. Number one, read that little blurb up top because it will at least orient you. If you just start after passage 1 and you read, "To avoid the evils of inconstancy and versatility, 10,000 times worse than those of obstinacy and blindness and the blindest prejudice, we have consecrated the state, that no man should approach to look into its defects and corruptions, but with due caution, that he should never..." Okay, so we still don't have any idea what's going on, and it's confusing, right? Don't start there. Start with that blurb, because we're told passage 1 is adopted from Edmund Burke, Reflections on the Revolution in France, originally published in 1790. And the passage 2 is whatever, Thomas Paine, Rights of Man. Okay, if you know anything about those two writers, if you know anything about those time periods, it might help. This is not the most helpful blurb I've ever seen. The Rights of Man is a little bit clearer what's going on. Revolution in France. So we're talking about revolution, we're talking about human rights, is somewhere in that realm. So at least it gives us that orientation. And then you're going to have to, like, reading comprehension is just a big part of this. Things that can help you, reading the questions first as well. So read the blurb. If you have a ton of trouble reading the passage because you just get lost in it, right? Because the wording is hard, and it's not current events necessarily, and it's just, you get lost in the weeds. Go to the questions because they can tell you what you should be thinking about. Brady likes this approach anyway to save time. So if these passages take you a long time, read the questions first, real quick, and you don't have to be super intent on them, but anything that has a line number in it, just put little, what do you do, bracket or arrows for lines when you're reading questions first, Bird?
Is that my ACT?
Or SAT.
I don't really do it for the SAT.
I know, but you could. Do you use brackets or what do you use?
Well, you really can't do that for the evidence questions.
That's true.
Because,
That's
yeah.
true. So something like number 33, you have the vocab and context. That might be a good place to start because it's just vocab. But vocab can be super hard on these because you don't know what's going on anyway. But if you read these questions to figure out what you should be thinking about generally, it can make understanding the words easier. Reading Shakespeare is like this because it's very hard to understand Shakespeare, but if you read the Spark Notes and you know the story, then at least you can fit in all that new weird information into whatever structure is already existing in your head. Do the same thing here. So the first question is in passage 1, Burke indicates that a contract between a person and society differs from other contracts, mainly in something. Okay, so a contract between a person and society. Now when you're going to be reading the first passage, the Burke passage, I think that was the first one, yes, you're going to be thinking about this idea of a contract between a person and society. That's immensely helpful because the idea of a contract between two people, sure, but the idea of a contract between people and a person and society is something that you have to really figure out from the reading, and if the reading's hard, it's going to be even harder, if that makes sense. So these help you orient yourself with regards to the ideas that the passage will tackle, and then you are just adding the passage new information onto these ideas that you know are going to come up. That, I think, is enormously helpful. Also, a lot of times these historical passages are the two-part passages, so do one passage first, because you don't want to be dealing with all of the information all at once and then go to the questions, because it's too much to remember. Also, two-part passages, the second one can often be a little bit easy. Mind blown. Oh, interesting. I'm glad your mind is blown. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I assume the only thing I've said recently. When you're asked the question, it actually gives you a lot of information. If it didn't, then you would have nothing to work with and you're just picking an answer blindly. Don't do that. Use the questions have information. Use that information. If it helps you understand the passage, all the better. So yeah, doing it out of order, it's a way to honestly game anything. If you know what the questions are going to be, why not know them beforehand? It's a good idea. Second passage can often be easier because you've read the first passage, you know the content. Now the second passage is going to be something related. It's very seldom going to be, I think this, and then I think the opposite. It's a lot of times going to be, I think this, and they sort of butt heads to an extent. Reading questions before a history passage sounds super helpful. Yes, it is super helpful. And the vocab and context is not helpful to read, but something like number 32, super helpful. 33, no. 34, no. Okay, and then 35, it can most reasonably be inferred. Inference questions are not as helpful. That Payne views historical precedents as, there's not a ton you can draw from that, but you can draw, you know that Payne, which is the second passage, will be talking about the past, right? What are the precedents that we have thus far? And then how does Payne see them? Does Payne think, okay, probably it's going to be Payne thinks, oh, we should do what we've done before and stick to those precedents and stay with tradition because it works. Or screw precedents, I don't care about that at all, and we're doing new stuff now because that's what we deal with. Something like that. Now, 36, how would Payne most likely respond to Burke's statement in line? That's not going to help you because there's no actual information here. Don't waste your time. 37 doesn't help. 38, which choice best describes how Burke would most likely have reacted to Payne's remarks in the final paragraph? Again, no information there. Evidence, relationship between the two passages. These aren't useful, never mind. And then the main purpose of both passages. Don't use the answer choices to orient yourself because most of them are wrong. So don't do that. It's the questions themselves. So it's not a ton of information. It's not going to explain to you what happens in the whole passage. But you have that blurb, and then in this case there were only two actual useful things. So if you really want, you could read, number 38 down here says, is asking about how Burke would respond to Payne's remarks in the final paragraph of passage 2. You could read that if you want. So yes, some of these things can be very helpful, but it just depends on the questions in the passages. But yeah, it's a little mind-blowing. All right, Bird, you want to, so that's, read questions to orient yourself. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's do some no calculator stuff. I'm not sure what we can do about the no calculator section generally. Time-wise, do you have any time tips for math? Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. The big SAT math time hack, as it were.
A big time hack.
Big time hack is to
Huge hack. Capital One actually had a big math hack on the SAT recently.
I heard it wasn't good.
Yeah.
A lot of data.
Yeah.
Like 100 million people.
Yeah.
They gotta stop doing that. I don't know who thinks it's a good idea to have these big breaches.
Yeah.
Anyway, there are the multiple choice questions and there's the free response questions. What you should do first on both calc and no calc is the free response questions. Go to those immediately. See if you can knock a couple of those out. Obviously, and this goes for every question, if there's one that stumps you, skip it as soon as you realize you're not going to get it. Otherwise, you're wasting time on it because there are no extra points for harder questions. But do the free response ones first and then come back for multiple choice, and here's why. If you run out of time, you can guess on multiple choice, and you might get some right. You cannot guess on free response because the likelihood of you getting a number out of
almost an infinite number of numbers is infinitesimal. You're not going to guess and get it right. For the time that you have, if you run out of time on any multiple choice section, you should put some letter all the way down your Scantron. So let's just say, LOL, may get some right. I wish I could be that lucky. No, you may get some right. Exactly. Yeah. Whatever letter you're feeling, if it's C for that day, all the ones you didn't get to, put C. Okay? You are protecting the likelihood of you getting 1/4 of the answers right on average by putting the same letter. Anyway, so that's the first thing. No calculator, it tests all the same math concepts as calculator. It's more conceptual though. So I think you probably have conceptual gaps of understanding that you're attributing to the fact that it's no calculator, but it's not because you don't get a calculator that you're not understanding it. That's 200 IQ Brady. That's me. So you should try to find some questions for us from the section.
We got a question from Cam.
Oh, from Cam Cabin Boy.
So this will help a lot if you get this question on the math no calculator section.
We also have, though, interest. Not Koozie wants interest.
Yes. This is a really quick question.
Okay. It better be.
It's also very dark.
Is the one where you witch? That you throw a witch in the bottom?
No, it's not even. It's straight volume. All right, we have a very dark volume question. So this is if this happens at dusk, then you'll know the answer to this. But otherwise, yes, dusk bird. Yeah. Are you taking? Is this in a notebook? I didn't even see the whole thing. Is it? Yeah, it looks like a notebook. No, it doesn't matter. It's visible enough. I'm gonna draw it really quick. Anyway, because I like drawing cylinders.
Yeah, this isn't that bad. It really isn't.
For a cylinder. What do we got here? Is that 9 and 12?
Yeah.
9 inches, and you got 12 inches. Okay, so you got 9 inches diameter, 12 inches there. Crow. Prodvanix, what's up? Or Van. I don't know, whatever.
Prodvanix.
You can do Cam. This is going to be really quick. Okay, so volume. What is the volume of this thing? To find volume of a cylinder, they tell you this at the beginning of both SAT math sections. So don't forget that's actually there. It is. Oh my gosh, it is. So, volume of a cylinder is not, what am I saying? It's a sphere. No, it's not. It's a cone. Anyway, it's going to be pi r squared h, where r is the radius of either base because it's the same, and then the height is 12. They don't give you formula for cylinders on the SAT, right?
No, they do.
No, they do. Did I just say? I swear.
Not on the
Did I
ACT.
only say that in my head?
Not on
ACT
the
doesn't
ACT.
give you anything, but SAT does. Yeah, you have it at the beginning. It's at the first page. You should check that out. Not Koozie, you don't need a formula when you can use an integral. But you don't need integrals. You can use the formula that's given to you.
You're going to use an integral for this.
You should definitely use it. You, Prodvanix, should use an integral. Integral. Oh my gosh. Not Koozie. Don't listen to what he's saying. It's not useful for you. Okay, this is how you find the volume of a cylinder. So, let's plug in. R is not 9, it's 4.5 because this is the diameter, not the radius.
Okay.
So we have pi times 4.5 times the height, which is 12, and then you find this out. I don't know what 45 times 45 is.
Wait, put the squared.
It's also squared.
Just estimate. All the answers are estimations anyway.
Oh, are they? Okay, so 45 times 45 is like saying...
Between 16 and 25. 4 squared and 5 squared.
What?
4 and a half.
Oh, yeah. So it's between 16 and 25, as I said. So let's go with
20.
10. And then multiply by 12. So 20 times 12 is 240. And is this in terms of pi? No, it's not. So 240 times pi is about 240 times 3 is 720. So it's going to be over 720. So 763. D is the answer. There you go. Wait, so they give you... Yes, all of yes, everything that you said is true. Yes, Koozie, yes. Yes, Koozie, yes.
I will do interest.
Will you? Okay. I'm going to erase this. Bird will do interest stuff, and then we have a dearth of questions. So
Fix that dearth.
fix that dearth.
Fill
That's
in
what we
that
always
dearth.
say. Fill in that dearth.
Is it Cabin Boy Cam that wants to do this?
What is
Interest?
dirt made out of?
Dirt?
Is it made out of like just excrement and like bark?
No. It's
it
made
made
out
of
of
worms?
silt, sand, and loam.
What is loam?
Loam.
Is that like dead tree?
No. It's a mixture of all sorts of stuff.
That's what I figured.
Right, yeah. No, it's like yeah. It is a heterogeneous mixture,
Mm.
but he has a lot of poop in it. I wouldn't say it's all poop. Kind of like your personality.
Not all poop, or
Not all-
you wouldn't say that.
Both. But then again, that's just my... Okay. I don't even know the types of questions we will be getting.
That's okay.
Cylinder question?
Cabin Boy's watching in his cabin.
That's good. Who
Is
wanted
it-
it? Who wanted interest again? Was that Cabin Boy or not Koozie? Oh, it's not Koozie.
The question that you just showed us,
It's not Koozie.
Cam. Yes, that is a decent example of a very straightforward volume of a cylinder question. It's generally not going to be that simple. You might be told the volume and have to find the height, but you have the radius, so you can set up an equation and then solve. It could be something like you're drowning a witch in this vat, and so it's got a certain volume of water, and then you toss the witch in.
Is it a
and
witch
then the
vat?
Yeah, it's a witch vat.
Is it a vat
Um,
witch that you're throwing in the witch vat?
It's a ham and cheese vat witch. Yeah. Why can't things just be simple? Because
These
you're in a
guys-
cabin, boy. Cam. I don't know. What type of question do you think is the hardest on math, no calc?
Oh, jeez. There's so many different kinds of difficult questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think normally if the cylinder's made out of... I'm not gonna make that.
Yeah. Now, Koozie, you should do some sections. Do some sections and then ask us specific questions. Because there's all sorts of, conceptual questions that once you understand the concept, they're not that difficult. But if you don't understand the concept, you'll look at them like, what is this asking me? Anyway, let's imagine for a second, just for 1 second, that you are going to buy something that is $76. You're buying something for $76. And tax on it is 8%. And the question is, what are you going to eventually be spending to purchase this? Okay? Most students that I tutor, because Levi and I also tutor, do this. They say, okay, well, first thing I want to do is I want to take 8% of 76. So I do 0.08 times 76. Levi, 0.08 times 76. What do we got? What?
So 0.08 is between 7 squared and 9 squared, and then you just move the decimal
Is that what it's like to be you when I'm sitting there?
Yeah.
Right. I'm fine with that. Are you okay with that?
No, are you?
No.
I mean, that's 4 over 5, so 75 divided by 5 is about 25 times 7
Just
is like...
give me my phone.
Okay. It's 175. What is it? 0.08 times 75?
76.
6.08.
Great.
That's
I
what
just
I
brought
said.
my phone. No, it is not.
Wasn't that easier?
6.08. They say, okay, so that's the amount of money I'm going to pay for tax. I'm going to put that now back onto the original price. So 76 plus 6.08 is going to get me $82.08, and I am done. And they'd be right. There's nothing wrong with that. However, there is a faster way, and this faster way, if you understand it, will make exponential growth and exponential decay, which includes interest, far more understandable. And here's how it works. Here's how it works. Before I do that, okay, this is going to be like layers of an onion. I'm about to go to the deepest level of the onion. We're going to start moving back out again. So we started, I didn't even talk about that yet, but we started with this level. We're at 76 days. I made them up, Cabin Boy Cam. I said you're going to buy something for $76 and there's an 8% tax. I just made it up. Pull it out of nowhere, okay?
Can you do that?
No. Here's the other situation. $76, and there is a 12% off discount. All right, 12% off discount. How much would you be paying for it? Here is what most students will do. They'll find 12% of 76, and then they'll subtract it away from 76, okay? 2 steps, just like that. They'll get the right answer. They're going to move on. There is a faster way. Here we go. Here's the question.
if you're not going to be paying for 12% of it, what percentage of it will you still be paying for? That is the question. I want answers on that board. You're not going to be paying for 12% of it. What percentage of it will you still be paying for? I will not say the answer until I see someone with the answer. 88%. Catboy Cam's got it, exactly.
3 below.
Maybe. So taking 12% off is actually the same thing as just taking 88% of something. So you can skip all of this stuff by just doing 76 times 88%. And that will give you your answer immediately. Give you your answer immediately, which is 76 times 0.88, which is, look at that, 6688. All right? It's a lot faster. It's a lot faster, okay? Now we're going to move backwards to this again. If we're going to increase something by 8%, we are going to multiply it by something to do this all in one step. We want to increase the 76 by 8%. We don't want to have to find 8% then add it back. We want to do it all in one step, and here's what you do. 76 times 1.08. That will increase something by 8%, okay? If you multiply a number by 1, it'll stay the same. Multiply a number by something larger than 1, it starts getting bigger. Multiply something by something smaller than 1, it starts getting smaller. So if you multiply by 1.08, the 1 keeps the 76 around. The 0.08 finds you the 8% of the 76, and this puts it all in one step. I don't feel like buying them. What are you guys talking about?
The things that you're trying to buy.
What is going on? I didn't even say what it is, okay? So here we have something that's going on. We took 1 and we added some percentage, or we subtracted some percentage, okay? If we're going down, we subtracted 12%, we got 0.88. If we're going up by 8%, we added that to 1, we got 1.08, okay? Here's where this is going. This is going to Mars. If you multiply a number by 1, it stays the same. If you multiply something larger than 1, it gets bigger. If you multiply something smaller than 1, it gets smaller. Brady 2019. Hey, that's what I said. Oh, I'm Brady 2019. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's so insane. I'm not going to erase this yet. I will erase this. I will erase this. Seems like you guys are solid on that. So here's the large question. Go to the bank. You got $100 you're going to give to the bank. You're going to put it in a savings account that gathers interest. And over 1 year, it is going to gather 6% interest. 6% interest every year. Put in $100. At the end of the first year, you have gotten 6% added to what you started with. 6% of what you started with added, okay? So 6% of 100, well, because percentages are built off of percent per 100, it's pretty easy to find. It's $6. 6% of 100 is $6. So you're going to make $6 that first year, which gives you 106 at the end of the first year. That's fantastic. That's great. That's great. That's great. Okay? And then you're going to take another 6%. And the end of the next year, you're going to get 112. Or are you? 112. $6. We went up $6 the first time. Would we not go up $6 the second time? What do we think about that? This is a classroom I'd call on you, but this is kind of a delayed thing. So I will just give you the answer, but you should be thinking about this. No, you will not be making 112. Because you're taking a percentage of the amount of money that you just had. So you're not taking 6% of 100 anymore. You're going to take 6% of 106. And 6% of 106, I will tell you that,
3 below.
times 106, that's $6.36. So this is wrong. Here's where you actually are going to end up. 112.36. It is close to what you had before. It's close. But we're taking 6% of where we were, not where we started. Okay? You can kind of see that the more money you make, the faster it grows, which is the beauty of an exponential growth. It's beautiful. You should marry it because it's beautiful. And that's the only thing that you should use as a criterion for choosing a mate. It's just sheer beauty. I don't believe that. Nor does Levi. But it doesn't hurt.
Anyway, forget all of that. So here's what we did. We took 100. We increased it by 6% for the first year, times 1.06. All right? But then we did it again, which is the same thing as multiplying by another 1.06. Every year, if we go up 6%, that is equivalent to multiplying by 1.06 again. You don't want to write times 1.06 times 1.06 times 1.06 over and over and over again. So here is a shorter way of writing it. 1.06 squared. If it's for 2 years of gathering interest, it's just times 1.06 2 times. So we say squared, okay? Which brings us to our formula. P stands for the principal. The principal is the fancy name for original amount of money. Original amount of money. R is the percentage rate.
Hey, Bird.
Yes.
Did you ever get sent to the original amount of money's office when you were in high school because you misbehaved?
Junior high I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Junior high I did. Okay. T is the number of compoundings they've given you, which in this case means number of years it's been. I just mainly have a problem with the equation, so I'm guessing P equals starting amount, R equals percentage equals time. Exactly. That is exactly right. Yep. So in this case, P was 100. 1 plus R gave us 1.06 because our rate is 6% interest. And then T is the number of years that we're going to be taking that interest. So let's say we have it in the bank for 5 years. Only thing we have to do here is put 5 where the T is. We're going to be taking 1.06 to the 5th power. All right? And I will do that for you now. 1.06 to the 5th power, which is that, times 100 gives you that. 133 and 82 cents. Okay? If you let T equal 5, then you get that amount of money. Okay? That is the simple interest formula. There is multiple compounding that could happen, which changes the formula somewhat. Not koozie. Is this making sense? That's basic interest right there. PERT. PERT. Oh, PERT. Yeah, the equation with E. Yes. Euler's number. That's good. Yeah, that's for continuously compounding, which is excellent stuff. Not koozie. We got to check in with you. How you doing, Not koozie? In a car? You driving? No, you're not driving. That's good. Yes, sir. Very good. Very good. Now that that formula makes sense, there is a more complicated formula. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin Boy Cam. Bless you as well. There is another formula. 1 plus RT to the NT. Let's see. Do we have any other questions right now? Sorry. Over N. Wait, isn't there standard interest too? Standard interest.
Yeah, simple interest.
Is this not that?
No, simple interest is just you have A equals P plus R of P.
What is the A formula? I got an add. We mean what does A stand for? Or this one here?
You got an add. If that add says that it supports us, it's not true. But I don't think it does.
How about this one right
yeah,
here?
I missed it.
This is ending amount of money.
I think he's asking for the whole thing.
Wait, didn't not Kuzi just say he got it? Wait, not
Here? In the yellow or the blue?
not didn't you just say you got it before? How about this one up here? Like, what does
Use
this
your
mean?
colors.
What does this mean?
Are you colorblind? Because that's actually problematic for this.
That would make this.
You know, the
slightly
yellow-blue
problematic.
colorblind.
Oh, that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. That one. Yeah, we haven't talked about this one. I wanted to see if there were other questions because this is a more complicated one. This does pop up in the SAT every now and then.
Yeah, you want me to just explain this real quick?
Sure.
This is simple interest. This is where this is like this one, the 100, then the 106, and then you just get 112. So you keep adding 6% of the original 100. So you just add the same amount every time. So that's what we're doing here. You just find the original rate of the principal amount, and then you just add that however many times you need to add it. That's harder.
Yeah, that's harder. Let's see. Hey, speaking of things that are difficult, if your stress levels are through the roof during school because there are so many activities and essays and projects and
Repress and
dissociate by getting Alta Ipsum.
Alta
Alta
Ipsum.
Ipsum.
It's what's for breakfast.
It's what's for breakfast
Yeah.
and lunch, but not dinner. You don't want to have it too close to bedtime, otherwise you will be up all night.
Yes, also don't eat it within 30 minutes of going swimming. You will drown.
Yes. You put it on your smartphone, you put it on your computer. Your computer. What this does, it allows you to put all of your activities. It's mostly a grade tracker, a planner, and a goal tracker as well. And you put them all into this app. This app will prompt you to, hey, we said you needed to study Spanish tonight for 20 minutes, so do that from here to here. You say, hey, I have an essay due next Monday. It'll put, okay, we're going to have brainstorming today for 20 minutes, and then you're gonna have first draft written in this amount of space on Wednesday. It'll organize it all for you, and all you have to do is just follow the app. All right. It is annoying to have to think about everything that you have to do in the next couple days, but if you have it down somewhere that has to think about it for you, then you're totally set. Levi, tell us more about Alta Ipsum.
It's free for the first month.
Yes.
It's been free. What's the app called? It's called Alta Ipsum. And it depend. Are you Latin? Because if you're Latin, it's called Summit Yourself, which is sort of a meta way of self-improvement.
It's down at the bottom. Alta Ipsum.
It's been there the whole time. Come on.
AltaIpsum.com today for you.
May cause bloating, thoughts of depression.
Thoughts of depression.
You just
You're
think
thinking
about
depression.
a lot.
Yeah. I hope I don't get that. I don't know if I got that type of money. What, free money? You don't know if you got free money?
Do you have Nerdish bucks?
Yeah, we get a couple Nerdish bucks. We can send them your way. They'll cost you a couple US dollars, but we'll
You'll
send
get
you
some
Nerdish bucks. And you can cash, thinks about depression. You can cash your Nerdish bucks in at the Nerdish store for less money than you originally bought the Nerdish bucks with.
Yes, and fewer dollars.
Fewer dollars. Do we get any other questions so far?
No.
If not, I'll go into the compounding.
Well,
interest
do you
one.
want to? Yeah, when are you going to the compounding?
Yeah, why don't I just do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just kind of.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
The line.
This is the more complicated version.
You have 4 minutes.
Absolutely. This is when they're going to compound it multiple times a year. So if your interest rate, we're going to go with 5% again, is 5%, and they're going to compound it, we're going to say twice a year. You're not going to get 5% 2 times a year. That'd be insane. They'd be losing money by just giving you all of their money, okay? Instead, they break apart that 5% into 2 different chunks that they're going to give you once at the end of the first half of the year, once at the end of the second half of the year.
There is a new question.
Absolutely, there is a new question. Yeah. Okay. Here, let me just write out all these things.
Fine.
Basically, the difference is you take your interest rate, you divide it by the number of compoundings per year. So we're going to take 5% divided by 2, because it's twice a year, and you're going to get 2.5% twice a year, which totals to 5. It kind of doesn't, but anyway. And then you take it to the NT, because if it's twice per year, if you want it to be 1 full year, you have to compound it twice. So this is going to be 2t to be twice. So n represents the number of times per year you compound. What was that called? So your linear thing was called simple interest?
Yeah, it's called compound interest, and this is called super compound interest.
Well, that's not true at all. I'll look it up for you.
I think this is the more robust version. Kuzi, stop looking at ads. Get an ad blocker. I don't think ad blocker works on. Why did I want to just call it Nerdish Tootsie Roll? No idea why that happened in my head. Okay, so Cam, this is your question right here. I think this is just compound interest, and then normally your n and your n are 1. Wait, so what was the answer to the question I asked?
I'm gonna figure out this interest thing. Don't worry.
I don't know. I think it's just
Not
compound
Kuzi.
interest.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay. Anyway, Cam, this is the last thing we're doing. Do you want to go over and fully explain this, or we can just do it next time?
Go do that. Do that.
Okay. All right. So, mean or average or whatever is going to be the sum of the elements divided by the number of elements, right? That's just how you find average normally. So just because there are x values in here, it doesn't matter, or x's in there. It doesn't matter. Just do the same thing. Sum of the elements. Okay, so the elements are 4x plus 5, 7x plus 6 minus 6.
This is called compound interest, and so is the other example I gave. This is just like Levi said, a more robust form of compound interest.
Robust word.
Robust word.
Okay. Kuzi's got it. Okay, so we're going to add these 3 up. So we add all of these up. That's actually a very misleading way to do this. Not going to do it that way. Yes, I would put parentheses around your stuff, but yes. Yeah, so this whole thing and then over 3. Whatever that is will be your answer. It will be in terms of x. It'll be like the answers here. So you'll get, your x's will be 11x minus 8x is 3x, so that's 3x, and then 5, negative 1, 1 plus 1. So you get x plus 1/3.
Yay!
Yes, this is more of an ACT question. The SAT likes to ask things, and it's very seldom as straightforward as this. But knowing how to do arithmetic mean, even when it's not just like, okay, the numbers 6, 7, and 20. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, so Cabin Boy, when are you taking the test? It seems like you'll be taking it for the first time, since you're asking about what's on it. Darn it. Darn it.
7:30, we gotta go, dude.
You gotta go? Do you have a child?
We gotta go, dude. Not just me. I mean, I want it. I mean, no.
Gotta go.
As soon as I do.
It is that time. It is that time. Cabin Boy, I would recommend taking a practice test and then... Woo!
Thanks, Nakuzi. Spread us. Tell your friends. Tell your parents.
Tell your children.
Yeah, tell your children.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm studying your material. Okay, so this is what we recommend for prepping for the tests. Take a practice tape.
That's it.
Test.
Take a practice test.
Take a full-length
Take a practice test.
Forever. Just keep taking that test. Try to time it so that you die with maybe 2 minutes to spare to check your answers. Finish that last question right before you die.
Levi, that's dark.
If you don't want to do that, take a full-length practice test. It depends on how much you're studying in between. What the general idea of your study, I mean, it also depends on when you're taking an official test. But the idea should be you take a practice test and then take stock of what type of mistakes you made, where are your problem areas. Once you do that, can I take one on Khan Academy? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Or you can go to nerdish.com, and we have a practice SAT. It's the first practice SAT, so it's not any different from what's on Khan. But you can submit it, and it's not a very good interface because we're not paying somebody to do it. And you can take the test, and it'll give you a diagnostic. It tells you what things you need to work on. And that's the point of taking this first test for yourself. Figure out what you need to study, because those high yield topics will affect your score most. So you work on those things, and then after you think you've made legitimate improvement in those areas, take the test again. Not the same exact one, obviously. Brady did that many times. Take a different test, see how you do on that, see if your problem areas are the same or if they've changed because you've made amends in the areas that you need to make them. So it could be a week between tests if you're studying every single day. But if you have 7 months until you actually take your first official test or something like that, then take a test every month and spend 2 days a week doing an hour of work on Khan Academy, on UWorld, on here. I mean, I would recommend watching us every night. It helps. It helps us. We've done much better on the SAT since we started tutoring. I'll take one twice a week. Dang, that's a lot. I'd be careful of burnout since you take it so... Oh, are you doing it in August? Twice a week is still probably not necessary. I'm going to try
If
to
it's-
take a test.
If it's the summer, go for it. If it's a school year, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Summer's fine.
So if you guys are taking it in August, I mean, yeah, twice a week is okay, but you're going to be doing test questions in between there too. It's not that useful to practice taking the test too many times. Like, definitely practice it 3 or 4 times. I think that's a great idea. And then in between those times, really hammer those question types that give you trouble, those passage types that give you trouble. Work on those from other tests and make sure you have enough tests to practice with. I think once a week is okay. Twice a week is not the end of the world. Brady and I differ a little bit on our opinions on that, but it's whatever.
Split the difference, 1.5.
Yeah, take 1.5 tests every 2 weeks.
That's not every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's terrible. You brought it down to 0.75 each week.
Anywho,
If you're doing summer and you don't have much else to do, you can do a 3-hour test twice a week.
yeah, do one summer per test.
August
week.
is like it's upon us.
Yeah, it is a pause.
Don't take the one a week. Do more than that.
Yeah, do more than one a week. Do one every 2 weeks.
But as long as you have to figure out why all your wrong answers are wrong. Otherwise, it's not even worth it.
Okay, so if it's your math score, great. Then work on math. Then you can take a lot of math. Just don't take tests to practice that's not going to actually make you better at individual question types. What will make you better is identifying what you need to work on and then working on those question types, those passage types a lot, and then going back to the overall test. So make sure as long as you have time to practice in between and actually improve in particular areas, then you can take as many tests as you want.
You good?
I'm so good.
Very
and you're
good.
so good. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Everyone's so good
We're
because
so good.
we are nerdish.